The Art of Mastery. The Student's Meditation Book. Copyright 2022 by Michael O. Okoroh. Published by Amber Excellent Publishers. All rights reserved. First published in July 2022. No part of this publication may be reproduced, stored in retrieval system, or transmitted in any form by any means, electronic, mechanical, photocopy, recording, or otherwise, without the prior permission of the publisher, except as provided by copyright law. Author's note: the scholar of life must have a mastership in view, and masters must strive to exert more excellent dexterity. He that attains mastery has encountered brightness. The luster of a life shields it from devastation. The diversity of masters is the propagation of excellent light, affluent worth, and conservancy. Sages of ancient times have guided men to know themselves. Yet men only strive to comprehend their natural selves. Thus, struggles are continuous. Men relinquish their lives in foolishness because they aspire to preserve them in enclosures of darkness. Preservation is not in hiding. It is in the brightness of mastership. Whoever comprehends the conscious mind has understood little, and will be a servant of consequences. Whoever knows the subconscious mind has understood a little more, and will be a struggling master over some consequences. Whoever comprehends the superconscious mind has understood the excellent path to the everlasting ocean of realities, and will be a great master of wisdom and superior knowledge. Mastery commences with a step on the right path. While all wrong routes are without, the right pathway is within you. Seek that which is without, and you will find slavery. Seek that which is within, and you will find mastery. Chapter 1. Mastery of Fantasies and Realities. What is the mystery of life, and what is the mystery of death? Do you not know that both life and death are elusive opposites? Among the perceptive, immortals, transcendent and eternal, this kind is named illusion. The activity of the soul in patterned clay is termed life, and the abolishment of this dense body is called death. In such terms, life appears to be, and when it begins to seem authentic, it is not. Life and death are, and are not, yet are, and they usher down to the valley of inferno those who love and cherish them. Who is a valiant man? It is one who hates his life. Who is a weakling, but a man who loves his life? Yet the weakling shall relinquish his life, and the valiant shall gain more. Though dying, the lips of men and the books of history shall bring to continual memory the never-dying craft of fearless men. Whoever fears death will be lost in its dim shadows, but the courageous in the facade of demise is valiant in love. The bold in love is trustworthy, and will not barter its convictions to lead a life of misery for a few more years. The thread connecting death to men is the dread of it. Death rides on the bridge of man's fear to reach him. Love is as potent as death. It can be invoked into manifestation by the vibrating energy of unbroken thoughts, just like death. The tongue of man is the bane of his transient life, and the introspections of man are the bane of his virtuous or divine life. No man confounds his weakness by resisting it. Weakness is overshadowed by strength. Whoever builds his strength will conceal his weakness. Whoever will overcome the non-virtuous life must love divine virtues, and they will race towards him on the bridge of his love. To master yourself is good, and to tread in divine virtues is excellent light. Light is the mother and son of light. The most distinguished mental state of all times is the consciousness of all is well. The excellent minds dwell perpetually in this state, and will never seek heaven because their mental state is magnificent heaven. There are numerous sicknesses, yet one is the deadliest of them all. That which is contrary to love. The earth is wealthy, but the world is impoverished. The poverty of the world amid abundance domiciled in all corners of the earth is due to the absence of love. The soundness and prosperity of a soul are the spirits of benevolence. Whoever desires love within his consciousness and discovers it has found eternal pleasure. He has found a pure river that will embellish his soul with a virtuous life. The transient is too feeble to judge the eternal. The feeble is too weak to judge the strong, and the earthly is too limited to express the heavenly. Chapter 2. The confidence of men. The greatest boasters have not been tested by masters, and the self-conceited wise man has continually resided among fools. Who is more ready for greater wisdom than a being who realizes his thoughtlessness and foolishness? What do you know? You cannot answer precisely until you know what you should know. What you know in comparison with what you should know determines your depth of wisdom in this world. Therefore, sages and spiritual masters understand that they comprehend nothing. Curiosity is the first step on the endless ladder to wisdom. Whoever wonders after the exhibition of excellent wisdom retains a significant prospect of becoming wise. However, this prospect is seldom actualized. The end of the wisdom of this fleeting life is tantamount to a man waking from a fading vision. Sometimes he recollects, and other times, it cannot be recollected. The profane plane of dense bodies cannot possess genuine wisdom. Whoever relies on it for wisdom will be deluded. Blessed is the heart that comprehends the end of the wisdom of the world, because he is spurred to pursue loftier wisdom. Twice endowed is the man who seeks a pearl of higher wisdom and realizes boundless truth. He shall be transmuted into the verity of that truth. Thrice gifted is the soul that remembers to preserve his fount of wisdom pure. He shall ascend beyond the world in the esoteric manner of spiritual masters. Aspire for the eternal and the virtuous. No virtue is not eternal, and there is nothing eternal without virtues. A student should learn to be disencumbered from all things, only then can he dominate all things. Whatever a man is attached to, he cannot master at all times. The greater the desires of man, the greater his torment. The lesser the desires of man, the greater his mastery. The desirous man shall be a sorrowful student of nature, and the temperate man shall be well served by nature. Truly, the world has few sages. Refinement through teaching does not rescue a man from foolishness. The world is filled with numerous enlightened fools. The anchor of every soul is its treasures, and the treasures of every soul are the manifest and unmanifest desires, expectations, and wishes of its heart. Every man's anchor rises from his heart. Mercy, justice, and humility are the tripod stand of a godlike strength. Whoever possesses them shall surpass all tests and hardships of his ever-evolving life. Chapter 3. The states of life. Consciousness continuously evolves in a depleting or repleting manner. The ephemeral life of this dense body evolves to a peak that begins to deplete. While the soul prepared to make its voyage into this world, the ship which transports it through the pathway of an earthly garden began as an imagination. The child you were was hidden in this image, and the adult you are was concealed in your childlike state. Whatever was made will be unmade, and whatever begins will end. The beginningless is endless, and whatever was not born cannot die. The greatest dread of a corrupt thought made manifest is not in its initial wreckage caused. Shall not a seed buried in the manifest plain grow? Do not sages say that a man cannot reap except he sows, and he must reap what he sows? The great danger of an unvirtuous desire is not in its first act but its great potential for multiplication. To provoke a collective increase of virtues in men, sow desires and acts of love continually. Every man thinks in the form of his nature, and every man will act according to his nature. No matter how patient an overambitious man seems to be, his impatience shall reveal his intentions. The thoughtless may seem wise for a while, but ignorance will reveal its chasm of foolishness. A fragile man may appear strong, but his faint heart will subjugate him before his enemies. The poor may seem wealthy, yet their actions and decisions shall prove their worthiness or unworthiness to possess riches. Fools do not admire wisdom. The bitter heart does not admire love. A man is a part of what he becomes. He shapes his prospective self by his actions and inactions. Practice the deed of inactions, and you will not be far from mastery. What a man aspires to become is not known on his lips, but on his internal and external work. Seek yourself, and you will discover yourself. Prove yourself, and you will muster profound convictions. Love yourself, and you will know self-satisfaction. Believe in yourself. This cognitive stance cultivates steadfastness, though men doubt your end. Remind yourself. Through this, you shall overcome many traps. Separate yourself. In this, you will cultivate uniqueness. Recognize yourself. In this, you will be formidable. Inspire yourself. In this, you will confound all distresses. Silence yourself. In this, shall you hear inaudible whispers and the voice of silence? Pleasure does not make man wise. Merriness parches up the heart's fount of sound judgment. Do not pursue the expectancies of a bitter heart. Revenge and pain numb the senses. The sober mind can be wise, and the vigilant can avoid pitfalls. Whoever dwells in the state of sobriety must ascend to the state of merriment. Yet he must return to sobriety, else his decline is imminent. Whoever does not know the warmth of the sun will preserve ice cubes by it. To keep friends is acceptable, yet it is more profitable to know the varying disposition of different souls. A devoted dog cannot preserve dainties of meat, but an obstinate goat can. Deal with men according to their disposition, then you shall seldom know surprises or treacheries. He that strives to find imperfection in a loyal dog will set him to watch over his delicacies of meat. The desire of a sage does not deliver the hypocrite from his ways. The bravest man in battle is terrified to turn his back on his enemy. The coward is terrified to face his enemy. When you shall summon great fear to run from your enemy in a fierce battle, your adversary will muster great fear to stand against you. Do not provoke a man to cruelty. Do not make a man desperate. The bravery of a desperate man is ruthless. Whoever provokes a man to utter desperation seeks his destruction. Do not threaten a man who is too terrified to live with death. It is foolishness. The most unprepared man to battle is the merry man. To have favorites is to cultivate weaknesses. The wise shall cultivate his emotions to absolute purity on this plane of the manifest. In this, his weakness shall be hidden from many. Every man has strengths and weaknesses, yet a man is deemed weak when he can divulge his strength easily. The fool cannot keep a secret. A persistent man will wear out his strongest foe. Whoever feeds a man's sense of gratitude may become a slave while he endeavors to buy his allegiance. A wise man is always prepared for battle but keeps his enemy in suspicion of his preparation. Withhold a favor from a friend, and see if you will find your enemy disguised in him. A wise man knows nothing, but the foolish knows everything. Before you mock a feeble man, be certain of the eternality of your strength. The greatest wealth in the world is not monies or goods, but a handful of devoted men. Whoever fails to dominate himself must remain a servant. Chapter 4. The essence of all. The essence of living and dying is love. Whoever lives for himself cannot die for another. Do not undervalue a man who sits on a throne of power. Luck does not concoct power, and neither do wishes strength. A wise man knows there are underlying causes of several effects in the world, yet a wiser man knows he cannot comprehend them all. The wise understands his enemies and wins them over, but the foolish plucks them out in a rage. Points of strength may be visible to all, but your weakness is only known to whomever you tell. In the pursuit of dreams, let every day count. In the pursuit of purpose, let every hour count. In the pursuit of love, let every moment count. The greatest bondage is the chains of hate, and the greatest liberty is the bliss of love. The munificent soul leads more than one earthly life at once. Whoever must transcend life and death must know they are vanishing states of illusion. A man who lives to preserve his life, and whoever seeks to die are identical. They suffer from elusive fantasies. Chapter 5. All things in all things. All things are enclosed in all things. If you would ask me, what is the greatest mystery I have ever known, or will ever know, it is that all things are enclosed in all things. To the understanding of this, there is no end. All things, be they elements, creatures, things visible or invisible, are subtly connected via the divine fabrics of highest thoughts. Though all things are within all things, they do not all move at an exact rhythm. The immaculate harmony of all things is found in the sacred tune of love. But the disharmony in the chords of all things is because a part of all things has not learned to vibrate at the frequency of love. A man who is dedicated to love is in communion with all things. Let it be understood that all creatures on the manifest planes of protoplast, soil, plants, beasts, man, angel, and cherub are but thoughts in motion, and their experiences are woven in desirous thinking, wishful thinking, and varying expectations. All things exist in the now. There is no past, and there is no future. Whatever dwells in the state of becoming has already attained its destined consummation. What should be already is. Yet it is hidden in the womb of the present, away from the invariably illusioned minds of men. There is no need for worry or tears. These emotions are embedded in the psychology of one who is bereft of comprehending the vain nature of the past or future. All things are experienced in the now. Every experience is a fruit of prevailing thoughts. You breathe thoughts as air, eat thoughts as food, drink thoughts as water or wine, sleep in thoughts as beds, and experience thoughts as weather conditions. In all this, do not forget you are but woven complicated thoughts in motion. Chapter 6. Thoughts made manifest. With a mighty will, a man may stir up the ethers of life and the ethers of death. To cultivate the strength of your will in the realm of thoughts is to master how to replace the state of weakness with power, a disease with health, and one state of matter with another. Death and life are certain kinds of thoughts made manifest. Essentially, a soul that knows birth will experience both of them before it transcends their elusive circumstances. Emotions are the foundation of experiences. The memory of experiences will fade as the emotions discharged to form such an effect fade. Emotions are the strength of memory. Experiences are but effects, and emotions discharged represent a major cause. Emotions govern the ambits of experiences. Are love, hate, pain, peacefulness, joy, and sorrow not emotions experienced by man? Do they not characterize events? Just as emotions are responsible for a man's varied existence in this gross material realm, emotions are also answerable for man's state of experiences beyond this current dream of life. The consciousness and experiences of souls are characterized and defined by emotions. The greater the emotions discharged by a man at different times, the greater his memory of numerous events. The lesser the emotions discharged, the lesser the memory of events. Hellish living and heavenly living are the characterizations of emotions. What plunges a man into hell is within him, and what lifts a man to heaven is within him. The hellish and heavenly living are features of the inner life and works of a soul. Hence, master souls cultivate peace, love, and joy within the realm of their inner beings. These virtues are the ladders of their ascent to heaven. Ignorant souls cultivate sorrow, hatred, and lust within their micro-universe, and cast themselves into hellish living. Thus, let the student of life know that emotions are the driving force of realities. Thoughts metamorphose into states of matter, and within every form of matter is energy in static or dynamic form. Energy gives form to matter. Forms remain permanent until greater energy distorts these energy bonds. Some energy bonds include subtle etheric bonds, elemental bonds, and physical bonds. Within each atomic particle is energy, and this energy is manifested in a balanced state of negative and positive charges. Beyond mundane sciences, an atomic particle can be divided until its subtle bonds are broken. These subtle bonds are beyond the reach and grasp of mundane scientists. The destruction of a physical bond diminishes matter to its elemental form, and the destruction of the elemental form of matter reduces it to its subtle form. The breaking down of subtle bonds has no end. This is a cycle that continues forever. If subtle bonds can be broken to their final stage, the thoughts of creative spirits may be discovered and men may create as these gods. The fabrics of subtle bonds and their continuous divisibility are known by extraterrestrial beings, yet the thoughts from which this matter was made manifest cannot be reached. Else creatures will know their existences in themselves, that is, the within of their beings, and the enigma of life will be discovered. Due to the infinite splitting of subtle bonds and the infinite height of complicated divine thoughts, matter cannot be created nor destroyed. Though forms may change as bonds are changed. Whatsoever is beyond thoughts and its diverse manifestations are God. Chapter 7. Spiritual Science of Consciousness. In every matter, subtle or dense, is a form of consciousness, be it protoplast, soil, plant, beast, man, angel, or cherub. The base and offshoot of every matter in all gestalts of embodiments that are in all universes is consciousness. Consciousness operates in diverse manners within diverse manifest and unmanifest planes. Energy is the child of consciousness. Consciousness conceived matter and energy, and the meeting of matter and energy produces forms. The foundation of certainty is consciousness. In varying states of consciousness, man manifests varying levels of certainty. The present reality of existence is certainty based on consciousness. As consciousness rises or wanes, energy and forms are altered. Depleting consciousness will produce depleting forms. Repleting consciousness will produce its kind of forms. A stable and dominating consciousness will produce an enduring form, and changing consciousness, a changing form. Thus, whatever makes the form of man grow old and dies is concealed in the fabrics of consciousness. Emotions shall always govern the consciousness of man and lead it in the way it deems fit to go. Thus, the heavenly and hellish experiences of men will never end. Chapter 8. Human Relationships. A child who continuously forgets the road to the market openly nurses an ambition to stop running errands. By all means, avoid the gathering of scorners. Play the game of life meticulously with the wise, and do not despise the foolishness of a fool. The unstable is not fit for partnership. The man who manifests the inner virtues of truth, right, and justice is fit to be a friend. Do not give everything to everyone who requests you. Deny a friend a favor with a fortified strategy, and you will have discerned his disloyalty beforehand. It is good that a man is always prepared, but he should always act unprepared. Then will an enemy in the guise of a friend be revealed quickly. It is necessary to cultivate superior mental strength and display weakness. Let not your enemy know the measure of your strength. Let your enemy underestimate you. Your feigned weakness will increase his ignorant confidence that will bring his destruction. The weaker your enemy perceives you to be, the less prepared he is to engage you in battle. Let your enemy know you are strong. This knowledge shall instruct him to wary, and momentarily, you will have peace and stability to grow stronger. To what enemy shall you demonstrate an aspect of your strength? To what enemy should you put up a show of weakness? When you battle against your strongest enemy, let your weakness be your strategic strength. When you battle against a moderately strong enemy, let your strength teach him to stay away. An enemy turned friend is better than a companion turned enemy. An enemy has more to prove than a friend. A friend knows your mental strategies and thinking patterns. His tactful predictions of your actions and reactions may usher you to defeat. Love your rivals wisely, and you can win them over to your camp. Loving an enemy in the guise of being ignorant of his state of mind and acts is powerful. You have misled the deceiver. Granting precious privileges to an unknown enemy gives him confidence in his subtlety, and treacheries are the end of this kind of relationship. To make your opponent convinced you have believed his lies is great art. In the state of power, do not let your adversary think he is undiscovered. In the state of weakness, your great strength lies in provoking your enemy to a delusional thought that he is undiscovered. Otherwise, knowledge will put you in gross danger. Knowledge may bring life or death. Study the season of an event and know when your knowledge may salvage you, or jeopardize your plans and purposes. It is great wisdom to make your adversary relinquish his evil ambition. More expectations may breed more contempt. Chapter 9. Perfect Bliss. The bearer of human loves, hopes, and fears no variations in emotions, and cannot know perfect bliss. Today he appears glad, while he flounders in despair tomorrow. Another day meets depression because of dashed hopes. Whoever lives in the consciousness of mundane desires will know grief. Grief is the fruit of ignorance. He that grieves or has sorrow should know that he does not know as much as he should know. A man who has kissed the nectar of knowledge will bid grief goodbye, for he has surpassed the ignorance that carries misery on its wings. Do not entangle yourself in human loves, neither possess hope nor fears, for in the mastery of this instruction lies perfect bliss. The soul that binds the cords of its emotions to transient living prepares himself to know grief in time. The hopeful does not know what will be, thus, his ignorance drives him from the realm of perfect joy. The fearful are fixed on the imaginations of illusion, and as they appear and disappear, only to appear again, he shall not learn peace. Chapter 10. The pure has no desire. He that possesses desire seeks an accomplishment. He that seeks an accomplishment demonstrates his insufficiency. Thus, he tells himself that he is not a god and has not known absolute purity. Whoever has no desire cannot be tempted with evil. Whoever has a desire and seeks an accomplishment does not know eternality. When you say to a man, "Have no desire," fear surrounds him because he has known what he is not, and what he must be. He that knows what he is not and what he must know insufficiency, and is governed by his desire. What is the master of men? Desires. Who is the mistress of men? Desires. Whoever seeks a thing in his heart has revealed his insufficiency. The pious soul that implores to receive has also disclosed that he does not have. This is his insufficiency. That a man does not receive what he requests makes him incomplete and miserable. The ruler of a man is his desire. The heavens may indeed grant the desires of the earthly, yet when the wisdom of mastery dwells with you, you will make no more requests. A man may find whatever he seeks, yet when mastery works in you, you shall seek nothing because you shall know that you are what you seek. To knock on closed doors is the way of men, yet when you shall know completion, you shall realize that doors are but an illusion that limits the seeker. Whoever finds completion within his being and thoughts will rise above the presence of doors and keys, and shall know that all things are freely his, and where he wills, he may go. Chapter 11. The student may learn his lessons. I will proceed on and learn all my lessons, for every victory over the ignorance of my mundane mind and lower virtues give me supplementary strength. Experiences are but dramatized trials. As they have been written in divine books, they will appear. However, you must know that they are but ladders constructed by illusion, fixed to bestow added strength to your mind. They are but illusions made to reveal to you the secrets of your heart. They are but illusions conceived to teach you divine reality and truth via mental and emotional experiences. When a man paints a picture that does not exist, and gives you a seeming wise instruction from it, learn, O man, that this is a trap of depravity and death. Whoever counsels you to steal from a wicked master because of his wickedness has counseled you to be a thief. Regardless of your master's disposition, you have joined yourself to greed, and will not go unpunished. A man's words are worth no more than himself. Whoever brings to you a sensitive counsel must be examined in the light he has brought. Whoever calls another a thief must be examined in the light of his accusation. For thieves call others thieves, and the perverse accuses others of perversion. Chapter 12. The man who wants no gifts. The man who truly desires no gifts treads the way of a god. For whoever will be divine must not need anything and must have no external dependence. In all, the satisfied one knows sufficiency. If men seek a leader, let them seek the soul clothed in the garment of satisfaction, then prejudice, greed, and dishonesty will cease from the company. Whoever claims satisfaction and possesses needs is a liar. Whatever satisfies will keep you from needs. Let the heavenly teacher that dwells in the virtuous aspect of your nature bring you the bread that satisfies. Whoever seeks sustenance of knowledge outside the deep wells of his being may be momentarily satisfied, but his needs will reappear. To be transformed is to evolve from lustful desires. To be a god is to evolve from earthly desires. To rule the heavens is to evolve from heavenly desires. The hungry and the fed are alike. One has been recently fed, and the other since fed. Whoever desires to be a god cannot be God. As long as he desires, being like God will be far from him. To be eternal is to possess no desire in all consciousness and ramifications. There is a time to be hungry and there is a time to be full. The virtuous is empty of desires on the day of temptation, but the soul that lacks virtues is full of desires on the day of temptation. Whoever is full of knowledge when his heavenly teacher domiciled within his being seeks to teach him shall suffer hunger and peril in the day the teacher seeks to rest. His hunger shall cause him to eat a poisonous meal of lustful teachings, and lust will sit on the throne of his heart. To eat at the table of the imperishable will cause you to be eternally satisfied. The table of the perishable will bring eternal hunger. In the day of temptation, woe to the hungry, for his hunger shall drive him to dine at the table of evil actions. The meal of the satisfied is the teaching of contentment. Only the contented shall know peace, clarity, and soundness of mind. A man is neither good nor evil. He is either only too satisfied to lust after earthly pursuits of material gain or too hungry to resist gold and silver made from treacherous acts. The hunger of men is the experience of desires, and the meal of satisfaction is the knowledge of wisdom. Chapter 13. Health of Flesh and Bones. Mortal wounds of sickness are a great sign of ignorance. Sickness cannot prevail in the presence of effective knowledge. Let the seeker of health know that the cure for every disease is found in nature. The too relaxed body and the too tense body will generate damage to the life current of the body. The body that is neither too relaxed nor too tense will beget a fine harmony of health. The supreme remedy for man's cure is his will. If he wills, he may relax a tense bodily cord, and if he will, he may exert pressure on a relaxed bodily cord, and restore sound health. Chapter 14. The master tool of the mind. The student of his mind will know by the flow of his internal energy that he possesses a conscious mind, subconscious mind, and superconscious mind. Whoever will wear the robe of a sage must walk in the effectiveness of these three aspects of the mind. While the subconscious mind will construct thoughts and imaginations, the conscious mind will see and understand its effects in the visible world, and the superconscious mind will see the invisible and hear the voice of silence. The superconscious mind may travel to the past and know the times before, and to the future, and know the times ahead. To tread in the knowledge of these three aspects of the mind is to ply the highway to sagacity. Mental patterns are hidden, yet their effects are significantly perceptible. To separate your consciousness from a mental pattern, and cling to a more elevated one is the way of soul advancement. Whoever will do this from time to time will possess ever-increasingly distinguished results in his world. The probabilities that shroud the life of a soul are woven in his acts of forgiveness, mercifulness, and discipline. Whoever will thrive in these facets will lead an orderly life. An experienced student of life will make choices carefully. Within every choice is hidden probable occurrence, event, or state. Choices will conceive reactions, and reactions will disclose different behavioral attitudes, and this will culminate into different destinies. To every choice, there is a consequence. To every decision, there is a destiny. Heavenly territories in the earth are not created by angels, but by men. Hellish regions are not created by devils, but by men. Your environment will absorb and embody the state of your inner consciousness. Every predisposition of the mind shall seek an expression. Chapter 15. The power of extremities and the craving for balance. To be plagued by extreme speed will compel you to pursue slowness. To experience disproportionate slowness will compel you to seek speed. Yet, what you seek will not be the satisfaction you need. It is dangerous to follow a man who has experienced an end of a thing. Surely, he will seek the end of its opposite, and this will constitute great jeopardy to his being. Extremes are not good. Let want balance wealth, and let supply balance extreme want. When there is no want to be satisfied by luxury, it will forfeit its value. When there is no supply to satisfy wants, the lives of men will be endangered. The value of a luxury is in its satisfaction of the wants of citizens. Create numerous wants via cunning innovations, desires, and wishes, and make luxury neither too easy nor too difficult to attain, then men will lead more peaceable lives. To create value, create desire. To create desire, guide thoughts. To guide thoughts, be convincing. To be convincing, show passion. To show passion, demonstrate acts. To act, strategize. To strategize, think. The desire of man determines the relative value of an object. To cultivate a desire for an object is to enhance its value. To cultivate the desire of many for an object is to significantly advance its worth. When a strategist successfully makes all men desire an object, he makes it scarce. Thus, many will chase after a few goods, and their worth will increase. Behind economic disturbances are superior thinkers, and behind the value of things are strategists. Mental faculties war with emotional faculties. The stronger of the two is a determining factor of victory or defeat. To feel more than to think is to embrace the folly of transiency and abandon the enduring wisdom of mental prowess. If your emotional faculty of being shall be subject to your mental faculty of being, then for every crisis you encounter, you shall think with a clear mind. Obstinacy precedes destruction and pleasure succeed patience. What satisfies a man like the yearning of his heart? Yet if the yearning of his heart is filled with the wind of emptiness, satisfaction will remain a fantasy. When all voices have spoken and silence broods over the inner state of man, then will the secret yearning of his heart arise and sit on the throne of his consciousness. A silent man's heart devises many imaginations. The words of his lips will only deceive its ardent listeners. There are two kinds of works, outer works and inner works. The ignorant will only judge exterior works, but masters judge internal works. Love is inner work. Kindness is an outer work. Masters shall investigate the inner work that generates an outer work. The ignorant pursue effects, the analyst considers causes, but spiritual masters devise them. The best predictor of an effect is the devisor of its cause. Chapter 16. The Entrapped Mind. The dialogue between a great eagle and a sage of sages. A sage met the eagle and asked, "O eagle of great flight, why do you reside in the troposphere of experiences?" The great bird of birds replied, "I saw some birds with colorful wings. A stunning sight to behold." The sage replied, "O great eagle, king of the air, what do you call beauty? Have you seen the beauty of the exosphere that lies ahead of you? Have you experienced the bliss of weightlessness?" The great eagle answered, "No, great sage. How can I think of greater beauties? I am entrapped in what I see. My soul is fastened to the glamour of these birds. How then shall I reach out beyond the mesosphere? What lies ahead of me? How shall I envision a future when the present is so enticing?" The great sage laughed and said, "The father of experiences is faith, and its mother likewise is emotion. When these two meet, they form a child called desired reality. If you will, O great eagle, reach out in great faith and high spirit. Renounce yourself from this great illusion you see and be free to live in bliss." Then the eagle stirred itself with a mighty will and released itself from its entrapment. With the two wings of faith and emotion, it reached out for greater heights unseen. As it ascended, it said, "I shall come into my desired reality." Times have passed ever since. The great eagle now lives in bliss. Be not a lawful prisoner of illusions and fly with the wings of faith and high spirits into the untold bliss of the future. Chapter 17. Balance of Power. When men compete for a balance of power, life is negotiated, but when absolute power is under control, death is negotiated. Life is more significant than death, yet death is more meaningful than life. A wise man will apprehend the season of importance. A being that is divinely fitted for a sacred work must be subjected to tests in the natural world, so that he may prove himself and know himself. An unproven man is an unknown man. The one who is fitted for seemingly impossible tasks must encounter seemingly impossible situations so that he may comprehend his divine mastership. The female kind of a fitted vessel will prove herself worthy. Yes, she will show her worthiness over the admirers of her male kind. Spiritual masters must conceal the truth in parables. Yes, mysteries must be preserved in themselves, so that wherever they are, they will be hidden from the minds of the feeble and ignorant. Secrets must possess the inherent power of self-preservation. Secrets must not only depend on the virtues of men to be preserved. They must be self-preserving. It is known that the sacred must not be bestowed on the common. For the common does not possess the heart value to preserve the sacred and apply it for the common good of all living. To commit the sacred to the shallow and lustful mind is to endanger your life. To conceal the sacred from the sacred heart is to divest humanity of good. Wisdom desires to make every mind its home, yet it will not dwell in a dilapidated home. Wisdom shall dwell with you when your mind shall be deemed worthy of great value. Invaluable wisdom shall dwell with you when your mind shall be deemed worthy of priceless value. Virtue creates value. Value sustains destiny. Zeal creates enterprise. Wisdom actualizes it. A sage has two wings, the first is the wing of purpose and the second is the wing of obligation. The balance of power among men depends on truth and lies. The truth of men may be lies and the truth of their lies. To believe either of them is to walk in destruction, and to ignore both of them is to suffer the same fate. To consider the truth and lies of men is to be wise, and the superconscious mind of a master shall discern all things and possess his knowing. The conscience of a man may speak truthfully, but his ignorant heart utters lies. The conscience of a man may demonstrate falsehood, being clueless about the truthfulness of his lies. The help and the wickedness of man fulfill one purpose, and that is to make your dream a reality. Chapter 18. The Art of Dominion. A foolish man cares more about his dominion than what dominates him, and is more concerned about presiding over the matters of men than what presides over him. What presides over you shall preside over those you rule. What rules you may exalt or abase you before men. It is more virtuous to rule over your soul than to rule over many people. To master and govern over your soul is to sit on the throne of power. A man may wear counterfeit royal robes and through deceit and subtle manipulations, ruthlessness, and fear humble men to submit to his leadership. When he shall awake from his illusion, he shall realize he was never a true king. Seek a self-conqueror. By all means, you must find him. When you have found him, entrust him with authority. Without such virtue, followers have no virtue and will remain disillusioned. The right of a follower may be the sin of a leader. To lead requires greater virtues than to follow. Chapter 19. The Sequence of Things. Pleasure relaxes the mind. Urgent tasks break the spell of pleasure. Preparation covers the mistakes concealed in urgent decisions. Wisdom teaches the steady mind to prepare. Moral convictions limit goals. Greed exceeds targets. Moral convictions protect. Greed kills. Rumors create contempt. Contempt breeds defiance. Defiance destroys alliances. Misalliances breed confusion. Confusion precedes destruction. But reputation shields against rumors. To build a reputation is to be 10 steps ahead of rumors. This will bring resounding victories. Sometimes, it is difficult to untangle foolish acts of bravery from clever plans. To build this difficulty, you must forge a reputation for wisdom. Extreme simplicity is regarded as extreme craftiness when a man has a reputation for great wisdom. The wise rules over numerous minds through its unlikely simplicity in plans and actions. The difficulty of a hard matter is in its simplicity. The simplicity of a tough puzzle is to analyze its unlikelihood. To speak with the voice of others, act with the motion of others, and judge with the mind of others is the essence of a virtuous teacher. The greatest teacher of a sage is himself. The greatest notes that instruct a master comes from within, and the greatest lessons learned by the wise are domiciled in the inner heart. The first strength of a man is his ability to cast spells of fear on his opponent. A strong man without wisdom is no different from an ox on farmland. A master of illusions is a master of effects and a master of men. The work of a sage is done in secret but displayed in open. To know the toils and demonstration of a sage is to destroy the awe he inspires. To hide your toil is to inspire awe. To inspire awe is to command respect. To command respect is to win the hearts of men. To win the hearts of men is to command loyalty. Loyalty precedes honor. Honor molds the crown of kingship. Kingship establishes dominion. The end.